यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृताम् धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे.
The word dharma is derived from the Sanskrit word dhar, which means to hold or to support. Whatever a person holds to himself becomes his dharma. Thus, a person might hold an emotion, duty, work, or a concept and remain with it consistent throughout his life. As Guruji has said, hold an emotion and carry it throughout your life, being consistent with it, regardless of ups or downs in life, regardless of its outcomes, but with purity and simplicity. Actually, dharma has a very wide connotation. When we tend to hold something, it becomes the pivot of our life, and slowly and gradually, when our consciousness expands, that particular concept also expands and becomes our way of life. Thus, there is a very thin line difference between spirituality and religion. Though religion is concerned itself with divine revelation and faith, spirituality expands our consciousness and is our way of life. Religion is guided by certain rules and laws, while spirituality is a way of life. Or in other words, we can say, religion is a path to make a person spiritual. Thus, dharma, in reality, guides not only our personal life, but also intermingles with our social life. In other words, dharma can be described as a way of goodness, truth, and duty. It is equal to natural law and conscience. Development of dharma or utpatti of dharma. According to rough estimates, there are around 4,200 dharma in the world. In the early Vedas and other Hindu texts, dharma refers to the cosmic law that created a balanced universe from the chaos around. The word dharma came in Hinduism in the oldest Vedic literature and later on also in Upanishads, Puranas, and epics. Between 500 BC to 500 AD, Hindus began to worship various deities: Shiva, Vishnu, Devi. Before that, they worshipped trees, birds, and animals. For the worship, different rules were made for different deities. As Varna system came, even different rules and regulations were made for the different Varnas because of the different work allotted to them. With the time, even the gender roles were demarcated, and thus the dharma for the two genders became different. Thus, with the development of human civilizations, dharma or the so-called role became differentiated according to the type of work done, or age, or gender of the person, or need of time, or circumstances. In fact, from Satyug to Kalyug, the dharma of a person changed drastically in keeping with the need of time. For example, earlier, men were the sole earners of the family and women were allowed to work in their homes looking after their families. But with the changing times, women are also contributing towards family income and men are also helping in household chores. Concept of dharma in Hinduism. In Manusmriti, it is mentioned Dharmo Rakshati Rakshita, meaning the one who protects the law is always protected. According to Bhagavad Gita, Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya, meaning while following one's own dharma, even death occurs, it will be fruitful. Dharma according to Gita. According to Lord Krishna, dharma is for the soul and not for the body. He teaches dharma to Arjun by asking him to perform his duties, actions, and finally renunciation. He proved that wicked tendencies and immoral acts are ultimately punished in the end, and the only thing which remains and is preserved is the dharma. Dharma is the law of being, without which the things cannot exist. Dharma in Buddhism. In Buddhism, dharma is a doctrine which is the universal truth, common to all individuals all the times. The path is divided into 3 themes: good moral conduct through understanding, thought, and speech; meditation and mental development through action and effort; wisdom through mindfulness and concentration. That is why it is said, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami, meaning take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, which will ultimately lead one to enlightenment. Dharma in Jainism. Jains believe that non-injury is the highest religion. Jains aim to live their lives in such a way so that the jeev does not accumulate any more karmas and eliminate the existing ones. They do so by following a disciplined life path of purification and moral transformation. Dharma in Sikhism. Sikhism also believes in righteousness and moral way of life, and ultimately in the attainment of moksha. Concept of Dharma. As Guruji has said,
Dharma nuhen Andhabiswas na mudhata na dusahaasa je karma upujae Bhrama Taku na boliba dharama.
Meaning, Dharma is neither superstition, neither stupidity, nor daring. All those activities which create doubt, they cannot be Dharma On the organizational level, Dharma teaches us to stay together, to have tolerance with each other, and to do maximum benefit for the maximum number. Dharma, in the name of different religions, have different paths, but divine power is one, and once a person realizes this truth, intolerance and impatience towards others ends. At times, in the name of Dharma, people behave like animals, also perform acts of cruelty, and finally exploit others in the name of bhakti. Actually, Dharma carries the person from a journey of expanding his own self to universal consciousness. At the root of Dharma, there is the power of Supreme. Therefore, Dharma is always impartial. Dharma is all-powerful and always defeats adharma in the end. That is why, if our actions are governed by Dharma, then they become sukarma. Actions done in accordance with Dharma create punya. Dharma unites the society, and without Dharma, moksha is not possible. One who follows his Dharma never fears unnecessarily and lives a peaceful life without any guilt. The entire universe is conducted by the Dharma of the Supreme Power. One who disregards his Dharma can never progress in his life, and all the Dharmas in the end lead to God realization. As Guruji has said,
Sabdharmara mula niti karibaa jiva pragati kholibaku jiva bandhana lagai aneka jivana.
Types of Dharma. Deha Dharma. A person is given a physical body, and so one of his duties is to protect it. So taking proper diet, maintaining a healthy and hygienic environment, taking proper sleep, and doing exercises to keep himself fit comes in Deha Dharma. As it is said that only in a healthy body resides a healthy mind. Grihasth Dharma. A family man or woman lives with certain rules and regulations in life. A man has to earn, and a woman has to look after the family and home. Both have to fulfill their obligations in a complete manner. This became their dharma. Though with the changing times, the role of both the genders have intermingled. So, it is very difficult to demarcate whose role is what. That is in need with the changing societal expectations and vast technological developments. Vyavasayik Dharma, occupational Dharma. Whatever a person chooses as his profession becomes his Vyavasayik Dharma. It applies to both men and women. In earlier times, society was divided according to the work done by different people, which was called varnas. people were divided into 4 varnas. Brahmins performed religious activities, Kshatriyas protected people and country, Vaishyas carried out trade and commerce, and Shudras served the above 3 varnas. But as the times changed, the criteria to choose an occupation changed. Today, anybody can choose any occupation according to his liking, aptitude, and circumstances. But whatever a person chooses, he has to live with the ethics of that occupation. For example, a doctor's dharma is to serve the ill and diseased. A policeman's dharma is to maintain law and order in the society. An administrator has to work for the upliftment of the people. Still, the basic concept of dharma has remained the same. Sannyasi Dharma. Any man can take sannyas at any point of time. He or she can renounce the worldly things and lead a minimalist life by just devoting his time in service to the Supreme in any way, by body or mind. Thus, his dharma becomes self-purification through introspection, seva, and renunciation. Prakriti ka dharma. Just as human beings live their life with dharma, even nature has its own rules. Sun rises and sets at its own time. All planets and stars also move according to a set of rules. Living beings in water, earth, air, and space all live according to a certain set of rules assigned to them by nature. This entire universe works on certain laws. All are under the control of the Supreme Force. In this earth, also dharma is assigned according to the place, time, and nature of the jeev, and Swadharma is the best dharma. Guruji has said,
Sthana kalo patranusaare dharma vidhi bane dharare Swadharma arthe je dharma Vihita dharma shrestha dharma.
Dharma and superstition, Andhabiswas. At times, it has been seen that people follow certain rules and rituals without knowing their source and reason. In this case, they just follow or practice those rules out of fear and without right knowledge. This is termed as superstition. Superstition neither gives strength nor confidence to the person, and in fact, it deprives the person of his power of discrimination. He follows all superstitions as a part of his dharma and spends his whole life in fear and self-deception. Since most of the superstitions are based on hear and say and not on truth, a person just depends on arguments and counter-arguments and is ever entangled in the complexities of life. Dharma has its roots in the truth, but superstition is based on many baseless stories. Once a person gets caught in any superstition, his consciousness gets blurred, and he suffers from many inferiority complexes. Furthermore, superstitions destroy the bhakti bhav, and instead of spending life in search of God, he gets drowned in Maya. In India, most of the times, superstitions have been given the name of Dharma. But actually, when any rule is based on disbelief and disorientation, it itself is bound to lose its value. Dharma is based on true faith and gives full-proof evidence of its existence by explaining its causes and reasons. But superstition is not backed by any evidence. Superstition not only confuses a person but also makes him unstable and dependent on others, while Dharma tends to become a strength of a person which not only helps him to become mentally and emotionally stable and makes his life purposeful. In India, most of the superstitions are learnt by the children when they are small. Parents and relatives at times inculcate fear among the children to control them in the beginning, but they do not realize the fact that the sanskars based on superstition will not only limit their perception but will prevent them from getting the real knowledge for which this human life is, as Guruji has also said.
गढ़िबाकु सबल पीढ़ी ज्ञान ही एक मात्र सीढ़ी अंधविश्वास न कटिले असली ज्ञान जे न मिले.
It has been rightly said, if you protect the Dharma even if it is difficult, it will protect you even if it is impossible. A person practicing Dharma will automatically see what is true and will step out delusions of life. The Dharma awakens man to his true